Bonjour tout le monde, welcome back, lesson 5 this week of intermediates. So how have you been getting on with your memorable day? We were talking about how to use the past tenses. So primarily we've looked at the perfect tense, the passé composé, where you have an auxiliary verb. Mostly it's with avoir, and then your past participle, which is the past bit of the verb, and that will express actions that you've done, completed actions with a time or a date, finished actions in the past. So we could describe what we did this morning in a series of actions. The other part that you will need to form the passé composé is être verbs, which we looked at with our little chateau or forteresse. Do you remember we had about 15 of those, plus all of the reflexive verbs? And typically if we were talking about our morning routine this morning, for example, then we would use reflexive verbs to express that, also in the completed actions passé composé perfect tense. We then focused last week on the imperfect tense, which is the past continuous. So it's a continuing period of time when something happened. Remember our timeline where we had, just looking for a ruler here, I don't think I've got my board here. So if we had a timeline like this, and we said this was everything that was going along in the past tense, and it was broken up with completed actions in the past. So yesterday, il faisait soleil, les oiseaux chantaient, et puis je suis sortie, j'ai mangé, j'ai bu, j'ai regardé la télé, je me suis couchée. So those actions that you did during that day were passé composé actions, cutting into that descriptive past, as in it was a nice day yesterday. The same can't be said for today. Today, we could say il fait du vent, but if we're describing what it was doing in the night, again we would use that continuous tense. So il faisait du vent, il faisait du vent, il y avait un orage, il y avait une tempête, il pleuvait, it was raining, there was a bit of a storm last night, it was windy, it still is windy now. But so describing the weather went on for a period of time with no defined start and finish as such. It just was raining, it was windy, there was a storm. It's descriptive, okay? You could say last night, for example, I was tired, or I was happy, or I was bored. So it's a state of being. So j'étais contente, j'étais ennuyée, j'étais fatiguée. And those are adjectives then used with the imperfect tense. But for this morning, we could just say simply, je me suis levée à 9 heures, j'ai promené le chien, or je me suis promenée, so I walked the dog, or I went for a walk, je me suis promenée. Avant ça, donc je me suis levée, je me suis douchée, je me suis habillée. So all of those things you took place, you got up, you had a shower, you got dressed, then you went out for a walk, or you walked yourself, or you walked the dog, okay, which would be j'ai promené le chien. So I digress a little bit because I really want to focus on describing past events. Now last week I talked about a memorable day going to the cabin in France, in Brittany, and what it was like and what we did, etc. And I asked you to think about a memorable day or journey that you've had and how you might express that. So I also want to look at something a little bit different. I want us to do a listening today. So I've sourced something called Quelle Histoire, which is a really, really good range of short videos and listening activities, part of the TV5 Monde. So TV5 Monde is a channel in France which I've used in the past in lessons, where you can do a listening comprehension. And this is something a little bit different. It's designed really for children, but it's very entertaining for us. So it's snippets of somebody well known in French life, particularly those other people around the world they focus on as well. It's about 5 minutes long, and it's a listening activity. And what I want to do is set some questions now, and then I will put the little video beneath my video, so you'll be able to click on it and listen to the Quelle Histoire about the famous person. And then I wanted to get you to understand it or find out the main points in the person's life. So this is the board I prepared earlier. So we can see that it is about the écrivain, the writer, the romancier, novelist. Écrivain is a standard writer. Romancier is a novelist. So he was both of those things. Victor Hugo. So you've all heard of him, I'm sure. I won't go into what he's famous for because you'll be listening for that in the video. So, because he had a long life, I've done this on two sides of my lovely board. So, let's have a little look at the things I want you to listen out for. So, if you were saying what happened during this period of time, so it's on a particular date, 1802, is that? Yeah, 1802. So 1802, I might say that's a fixed date in the past. Something happened. Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé? So that would be a passé composé. So se passer is to happen. It's always used with the il form, the impersonal. You don't conjugate it into je or tu or nous or anything like that. It's just il. Il se passe. Hein? Donc en ce moment, qu'est-ce qui se passe? What is happening? Se passer, to happen. Do you remember I said passer du temps is to spend time, or se passer is a reflexive, what is happening at the moment, okay, in time. But in the past, you'd say, qu'est-ce qui s'est passé? Let's have a go at saying this date. En, qu'est-ce qui s'est passé en? So en is to express in time. So you wouldn't say dans, the other word for in. You'd say dans le restaurant, dans la maison, but you'd say en, 1802. Some people say 1800, 1802. 1000, I think it's easy to say 1802 myself, but 1802, okay? Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé? So what happened at that date? Then I've got a little block of ages when Victor Hugo, quand il avait, when he had, when he was. So again, remember that with your age you say j'ai, I have so many years. So quand il avait, in the imperfect, when he was, quand il avait 14 ans, qu'est-ce qui s'est passé? What happened when he was 14? Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé à l'âge de 19 ans? What happened to him when he was 19? Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé? Or you could say what happened to him. Qu'est-ce qui lui est arrivé? What happened, arrived at him. So arrivé à quelqu'un. Ça m'est arrivé, it happened to me. But it'd be to him, lui. Qu'est-ce que lui est arrivé à l'âge de 25 ans? Okay, so at these periods of age, 14, 19, 25, what happened to Victor Hugo? Okay, this is a period of time here, so something happened in 1822, but during this period of time right up to 1830, this is a long period of time, and il avait combien d'enfants? So we know he had children, because I've put it there. How many? And then back this point, 1833, something else occurred in his life. So I want these dates pointing out for you to listen to. 1802, these years of age, what happened to him? 14, 19, 25. 1822 to 1830, this period of time, and children. And then 1833. Okay, you can stop this and pick these dates up whenever you want. You can stop the video, but I'm going to turn around. Au verso on the back. Now, I'm sure you've all heard of Esmeralda. Why is she a significant other? Esmeralda est qui? Hein? So, ça concerne l'œuvre très célèbre qu'il a écrit. So, the œuvre, the book, the work, œuvre, if I write that word for you. This is, whoops, he wrote many œuvres, works, O-E-U-V-R-E, many works, famous works. Les pièces de théâtre, which I wasn't so familiar with. Les pièces de théâtre, plays. Les romans, novels, well known for those. Les poèmes. You'll find out something else about Victor Hugo as well in society, what his position was in society, what he thought of society as well, as you listen. So, talking about her, Esmeralda et qui, they were in one of his books, one of his works. During this period, 1829 to jusqu'à 1848, that's a long period of time. What went on during that time? This one, il était très triste. This is to show how sad he was at the end of this period then in 43. Okay, so qu'est-ce qui s'est passé? And then here we've got going towards the later part of his life, 1851, 1851 to 70. I've put for you there Napoleon III, so he was going to come to power during that period. And because of that, what happened to Victor Hugo? 1870, 1870. And then qu'est-ce qui s'est passé à l'âge de 91? We can tell he had a long life. And then in 1885, 1885, what happened? So I want you just to express what happened at those milestones, those periods during his life on those dates. Also, I want you to listen very carefully to the tense that is used to raconter l'histoire de la vie de Victor Hugo. So to tell the story of the life of Victor Hugo, what tense are they using? We've been talking about the imperfect tense, have we not? To say this happened, this was going on at the time, he was happy, he was sad, he was in danger. So to express those kinds of things, or in 1870, this happened, so that would be a passé composé normally, wouldn't it? But listen out for the tense that is used, and this is often a feature in French of how they might recount, raconter, a story, une histoire, dans le passé, in the past. Do they necessarily use the past tense, is what I'm asking. So listen carefully to the extract on Victor Hugo's life. Fabulous, wonderful, creative person. See what you learn about his life and see if you can pick out those dates and what happened to him. I hope you enjoy, and next time we'll look at it together and see what the answers are. Okay, bonne chance!